Hey everybody, it's Courtney Sparkman over at Officer Reports. Sorry I've been gone for a couple of weeks and been a little lacking on the video content. So this week we're going to try to post 2 videos. This video will definitely not be a 3-minute Thursday, but we'll post this to our vlog series. We'll see if we can squeeze in a 3-minute Thursday later on this week. But in the meantime, let's talk about a small business networking event that I had the honor of speaking at a couple of weeks ago. There were some really huge takeaways from that event, and I want to share those with you guys today. Let's do it. So here we are at Baton Rouge Entrepreneurs Week 2018. I got a lot of great speakers. I'm actually sitting on a panel. We'll see how that turns out. All right, let's go. All right, this is another example of people getting together trying to support one another. Although a lot of these companies here don't have a lot in common, a bunch of small businesses, and we're going to sit today and learn from one another and network and see how we can move our businesses forward. And let's see, you know what, I might be able to get a couple of interviews with a couple of subject matter experts. Actually, let's do that. We'll get some interviews with some people who can help you scale your business. All right.
Here today. She is the 2017 Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year Award winner for the Pacific Northwest. So another amazing thing that she's accomplished with a dream, just like us here today. So her journey started out like many of you guys. She drained her bank account and decided to go for it. So we're going to let her come up and explain more. And then after her speech, we're going to do a conversation kind of question and answer with you guys. Feel free to, they're going to pass some mics around. And we just want to have an open conversation. Anything you want to ask her, pick her brain, anything, that is going to be following her speaking. So come on up, let's give her a round of applause.
Good morning. Really great to be here. Really appreciate the offer, the invitation to come down here to speak to this, what is shaping up to be quite a large group here today. My people who are all about the positive possibility of what an idea and a lot of perseverance can accomplish.
If you aren't familiar with Jill Nelson, take some time to get to know her story. She took a virtual receptionist business, which is very similar to the security guard industry in that it is a very people-focused industry with high turnover, and she turned her company into a thriving multi-million-dollar business that has won some significant accolades. For example, she was named a Fortune magazine Best Small Company to Work For, one of Inc.'s Best Workplaces, one of the 100 best companies to work for in Oregon, and one of Oregon's fastest growing private companies.
I think all of you here have one added benefit in that you actually take the time to reach out and find opportunities to learn from other entrepreneurs and programs that are here to support entrepreneurship. I was a stubborn person who started my business thinking I knew everything. What I was going to do was so unique that not one other person had been on this journey. And so, spent the first few years really banging my head against the wall. And actually it was the Discovery of Entrepreneurs organization, who I think a number of EO members here today.
Did any of that sound familiar? Her story so closely mirrors some of the stories of security guard owners that I've talked to, it's scary. Jill actually mentioned something that is becoming a running thing for my channel, and that is the idea of talking with other small business owners to try to solve common problems. In fact, here at Officer Reports, we've been contemplating starting a security guard company mastermind group to connect security guard companies from non-competing areas to come together and learn from one another. If you're interested in joining one of these mastermind groups, or if you'd just like to learn more about our plans, please feel free to DM me on LinkedIn or our YouTube channel. But let's get back to it. And I would concur with that, so I run to the same thing. But before I go there, what I really hear people thinking and talking about is trying to find the perfect thing. This is how I'm supposed to do that. Give me that plan that's going to make me successful. There's no such thing, right? What it comes down to is you try a whole bunch of stuff as inexpensively as possible. Test, 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 test. And then once you get some data, then you can start growing your idea, growing your population, finding your tribe. But it's not an easy thing at all.
Mary Ellen?
So I would say just to go in on like the idea of finding that specialty area, like basically your goal is to find the thing, like you've got this expertise, right? For many of you, you're small, you're trying to figure out how to scale that expertise up, right? And so you'll make more money, whether it's a product or a service, the fewer people or competing products or services that can be exchanged for what you're doing. Does that make sense? I'm gonna just bear with me here for a second. If like, how many alternatives? Like, and I'll give you an example based on my own business. I run a marketing agency, okay? And when I started my company, I said, okay, I've got a marketing agency, I'm gonna do content marketing. And I did all right, I'm writing blog posts. There are lots of people who can write blog posts, right? Okay, so then we started to narrow it down. My experience as a journalist, I did financial services. There are not a lot of people who can write blog posts about stock options, right? My pool's getting smaller and my price is going up. So, and now we've gotten to the point where we really only work in like a handful of industries. It's like risk assessment, like really unsexy things that there's just not a lot of competition for. And when my customers find me, they go, oh my God, I've been looking for you.
Okay, that was a great session. A couple of takeaways. So one of the questions that I usually get from newer security guard companies is, what would I do if I were going to start again? And typically my answer is, I would specialize. So you don't want to be just another security guard company. My advice would be to go out and talk to as many possible customers or potential customers as you can and ask them what's wrong with their service. We're not trying to sell them anything. It's really about figuring out what it is that they need. Typically, people will tell you what they'll buy. So it's just up to you to talk to those customers and figure out what those things are. All right, let's talk to one of the many experts that spoke during the event. By far, one of the most dynamic, successful, and knowledgeable business owners at the event was Mary Ellen Slater. I was able to catch up with Mary Ellen to see if she could help you grow your business, and here's what she had to say.
All right, here we go.
Hey everybody, we're here with Mary Ellen Slater from RepCap Media, and I will actually let her introduce herself.
Hi, yes, so I run a content marketing agency that specializes in helping companies create unique, differentiated content so they can stand out in the minds of their customers.
Okay, so I've been talking to my customers for a couple of years about the importance of content. You know, coming from someone who is a content expert, what's the importance of putting content out?
So content is a way for you to show what is special and unique about the way that you do business. I mean, I think most of us would say like, oh, we love our customers, you know, the way we do things is special, it's unique, it's one of a kind. But if you're just saying that, like everybody says that. So what you can do instead with your content, before you actually even have a chance to meet somebody, that's your chance to like prove that to them before they ever actually, you know, get on the phone with you or meet you in person.
So in terms of what they should write about, so typically what I see for a lot of security guard companies is they just write about how great they are. Oh, I'm this great, I'm that great. I mean, is that what they should be focusing on, or is there more?
Absolutely not. I think what you want to do to connect, think about what your customers are, two things you want to connect to. One is, what do you know the most about? Like, what are you truly an expert on? And I'm going to assume it's not just on how great you are.
Right.
Right? You're an expert on security, presumably. You're an expert probably on security of specific types of buildings, you know, specific types of businesses, anything that lets you kind of dig into like that thing that you really know like better than anybody else. And then two, you want to make sure that these are things that your customers need to know about to do their business. And sometimes those might not be obvious things. They might have concerns that go beyond just, you know, their security and their location. They might be interested in hearing what you have to say about, say, business like building maintenance, right? Like, so think about, put yourself in the shoes of your customer and give them the information that they need to do their jobs and grow their businesses.
That's a great tip. So if I were a security guard company and I'm looking to start blogging, like just tomorrow I'm going to start, what one tip would you give me to start?
I think the first thing is look at what your competitors are doing. So I have an exercise that I think is very powerful, but people often find a little bit depressing. Take the content that you're writing or that you want to write and drop it on your competitor's blog. Ask yourself, would anybody notice the difference?
Wow,
right?
Okay.
So if they would, that means you're not differentiating enough. Like you're not making it enough of you, right? So like don't be afraid to be yourself in this. Like be authentic. Like bring your unique expertise. It's better. I have a friend who's an expert in marketing. He's a serial tech entrepreneur. He says, when given the choice between being professional and being memorable, choose memorable every time.
I love it.
Right? So be yourself. Be yourself.
Great. Well, thanks a lot for your time, Mary Ellen.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. And I will talk to you guys later.
Oh, that was fun. That was good.
All right. Thanks for checking out our vlog. I hope you found it interesting and maybe even inspiring. If you did, you'll really like what we have planned for 2018. In fact, if you're a security guard company owner or manager, do yourself a favor. Go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe. A lot of the content that we plan on doing for 2019 will only be released on YouTube, so don't miss out. Thanks everybody. Have a great week and stay safe.